This session, I served on the Technology Committee as the chair, and I've served on other committees. To report to you with regards to the legislative session, it was a particularly difficult one, but one that we endured. We had two items that we had to address, and I think we've gotten through them. The one item is still in court, and we'll have the answer to that, but let me tell you what they are. Constitutionally, we have a duty to have a balanced budget. And with regards to the budget, we had to spend the resources that we had. Now, because of the way our tax system was set up, you may have heard about that sessions ago, the margins tax, there was not enough money to pay for the items that we had that we were responsible for. So because we have a constitutional provision that requires a balanced budget, unlike, say, the federal government, which just, when they're short of money, they just print more money or they borrow more money. We don't do that in Texas. And I think that's a good thing. In Texas, we can only spend what we have. And so we were faced with a choice, and that choice was decided by discussions that were occurred in many a setting, much like this one. The question is asked, and I've asked it before here in McAllen, when confronting the shortfall, the structural shortfall that we have, were we going to raise taxes or were we going to cut services? And that's the question that we were each confronted with, and a question that the statewide leaders were confronted with. The last time I asked for a poll of hands, it was about 10 to 1, with people saying, don't raise my taxes. This is a very difficult period that businesses are going through, that individuals are going through, and they did not want to see their taxes raised. Having listened to our constituents from around the state, each individual leader had to make a decision. Well, I will tell you, because I'm from here, I know you sure did not want me raising your taxes. When speaking to the business community, they said, look, we're having a difficult time as it is dealing with that margins tax, which we didn't care much for. You've already burdened us as it is, so please don't go looking for more money. So we did what we had to do. The other choice was that we cut back. And we did that, and that's been accomplished. We balanced the budget. Your taxes did not go up. If they went up, that's because of local appraisals, but outside the control that we exercised. The other item that was before us was redistricting. And that occurs every 10 years, or should occur every 10 years. Sometimes last cycle it was done midterm. After the census is done, we have to, because people are shifting around the country, or they're shifting around the state, or there's growth, or there's diminishment in that growth in other areas. West Texas, for example, lost population. The valley gained population. The cities gained populations. The rural areas lost population. And so we have to move that around. So after the census is released, we have to then draw lines. And redistricting was done. That has been submitted. Because Texas is in the South and is subject to the Voting Rights Act, we simply cannot pass a law and it becomes law. We are required to get approval from the federal government. That's because of past discrimination that occurred in Texas. And so we're in that process. The Obama administration has decided to contest the state map, not for the Senate, not for the educational board, but for the House of Representatives in Texas and for Congress. And so as it stands, Texas does not have a map. Many people think there are maps out there, but until the court approves it, there's not a sitting map. And so, Eddie Zamora, I saw you out there somewhere. Eddie, your map that you want to run under is not settled. Until the Justice Department deals with it, and they're contesting it. So then it goes to a 3-judge panel out of Washington, D.C., and then it'll go to the Supreme Court. But we've been through this process before. Eventually, candidates will have it, will be told what they are. They may have to move the the filing deadlines, but eventually we get to it. This session was particularly tough, but as I've said in many a speech, we can tighten our belts one session, and we can try to tighten our belts other sessions, but the coming session is going to be particularly difficult. And for this community, it is important that you have people there with seniority, that you have people who understand the process, that understand how to fight for the community when it comes to various issues. I think we've done particularly well when it comes to serving this community. I think this community and this organization is conservative in its perspective, as is Texas, and I intend to reflect that. I think my 10 minutes are up, but I'll be glad to answer questions when that time comes up. Thank you.